He sent my 8-year-old a $100 gift card. My son Tyler was only 8 when I first noticed something that made my skin crawl. His swim instructor, Coach Pete, had this way of watching him that sent off alarms in my head. At first, I tried to shake it off. I figured maybe I was just being one of those overly paranoid moms. Pete had glowing reviews, a spotless record, and over 15 years of experience. Other parents loved him, but something didn't sit right. During lessons, he'd always stay closest to Tyler, constantly adjusting his strokes with these drawn-out touches, even when it wasn't necessary. He'd barely look at the other kids, but heaped constant praise on Tyler, calling him my special swimmer, and saying he had natural talent. Then one day, after class, I overheard Pete inviting Tyler to come over for private lessons at his home pool, for free. That was the moment the alarm bells stopped being subtle. I told him no, of course, said our schedule was packed. He smiled like it was nothing, but the next weekend, he showed up at Tyler's soccer game, just stood on the sidelines, no connection to the team, pretending to be on his phone. When Tyler scored, Pete cheered louder than anyone. I reported his behavior to the swim center's management. They dismissed it, said Pete was just passionate about mentoring kids, made me feel like I was the one being ridiculous. But then Tyler started having nightmares, waking up crying, begging not to go to swim class anymore. When I asked what was wrong, he just shut down. My happy, outgoing boy turned anxious and withdrawn. I pulled him from the program that week and enrolled him in a different swim center across town. But Pete somehow got our new address. On Tyler's birthday, he mailed him a card with a $100 gift card and a note that said, "I miss my favorite student." I returned it with a message telling him to never contact us again. Instead of backing off, Pete escalated. He started parking across from Tyler's school. I saw him taking photos during recess with a long lens. I reported it to the school, but they said he wasn't breaking any laws just by being on a public street. So I installed security cameras around the house and began documenting everything. One night, the cameras caught him peering into Tyler's bedroom window. I called the police immediately, but he was gone by the time they arrived. And since he hadn't technically done anything illegal, they said their hands were tied. I was exhausted and scared, and I finally reached out to other swim parents. That's when it all came to light. 3 other families shared eerily similar experiences. One mother said her daughter had quit swimming altogether after Pete offered special private sessions. I convinced them to speak up. Together, we discovered Pete had been fired from 2 other swim centers for inappropriate behavior, but the facilities had covered it up with glowing references to avoid scandal. We presented everything to the police, our statements, messages, photos, the pattern. This time they listened. Pete's home was searched. His computer was filled with hundreds of photos of young swimmers, Tyler included. They found messages, schedules, a terrifying level of detail. Worst of all, he'd already applied to volunteer at Tyler's summer camp. He was grooming kids, building trust, isolating them, slowly crossing lines. The swim center finally fired him and issued a public apology, but it was too little, too late. Their silence had allowed this man to keep operating unchecked. During the trial, 6 more families came forward. Pete got 15 years in prison. The swim center shut down after dozens of parents pulled their kids. Tyler's still in therapy, but he's swimming again, at a new facility, one with cameras in every corner and rules as strict as a military base. And I still check every window before I go to bed.